Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
If you have not ordered at DirtCarLift.com in the motorsports racing world, you are absolutely way behind. But if you are an existing customer of the Dirt Car Lift product, you already know about why they use the concept of stop jacking and start lifting. DirtCarLift.com helps make things very easier in the pit area. Whether you need to change a flat tire, make a shock or spring adjustment, DirtCarLift.com can get all four sides up immediately than having to go around from side to side to car. By the way, they have a special package and price for existing customers with a few changes to make your life a little easier. Give them a call at DirtCarLift.com today. Call them up again at 770-898-3907. 770-898-3907. And find out why the concept is true. To stop jacking and start lifting with DirtCarLift.com at the races today.
This is Finish Line.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.
This is Finish Line. Undisputed, unrealistic, unscripted, and unrehearsed. This is Finish Line, a weekly podcast talking about the positive and negative of motorsports, asking the questions to drivers, promoters, and personalities, getting the information and responses of the sport others dare not to ask or even discuss. This is Finish Line. This radio podcast is from the heart, an in-depth analysis of everything in NASCAR, NHRA, IHRA, IndyCar, grassroots motorsports, asphalt, dirt, drag racing, karting, tractor pulling, boat racing, demolition derbies, and much more. From touring events to national, regional, weekly, and more. This is the podcast where the bull stops here. Whether it's asphalt, dirt, or drag racing, or anything else in life, there is always a finish line. Now, he's a respected veteran broadcaster with over 20-plus years experience calling all forms of sports for public address, TV, and radio. From NASCAR to the grassroots. Please welcome your host, Wesley Outland. This is Finish Line.
Good morning. This is the penultimate edition of Finish Line. We are at the home stretch. We have one more show scheduled for 2021, which is next Wednesday, and then we are done. We'll take a nice break. We'll come back, and we'll come back in January of 2022 I want to say tentatively January the 5th. So we'll take a nice 3 weeks off, get ready for Christmas and New Year's. As always, could not do it without the thanks of DirtCarLift.com, Crate Insider, and MPM Marketing. I am Wesley Outland. You're in the hot seat. We welcome you to Finish Line. You got the Five Flags Speedway backdrop. We're going to recap the Snowball Derby. We're going to recap the Gateway Dirt Nationals. A lot of great things planned here for the program. So we thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to talk a little bit. I got a rant going on today. Probably in the last segment, I might bring my colleague and producer Charles Wooten in on this, because there's been like a big controversial talk about tech and why it took so long till the cows came home to do tech at the Snowball Derby. Obviously, we got guests on from the Snowball Derby, so we'll get their thoughts on things. But I just want to give my 2 cents in the ring as well on this whole subject. And I've been patiently waiting for this show, for Finish Line, for this moment to talk about it. Because there's been times that I've literally stayed in technical inspection until the sun came up the following morning in races. So, yeah, got a lot to talk about. We're ready to go. It's Finish Line. It is December 8th. Hope you're continuing to have a great holiday Christmas season. I'm a Grinch. I don't care about Christmas. Bah humbug. By the time we get to it, I'm like, just cut the damn tree down. Give everybody their presents. I give everybody gift cards. You can think bad about me now if you want to. I'm sorry. I don't care. That's just how I am. I think that the world is too... Charles, I'm telling you the truth, okay? I'm just saying how I feel. I just think that Christmas has become so... I'm the Grinch, okay? Look at my Facebook posts lately. I put Grinch posts. But anyhow, I think Christmas has become too socialized, too, worldly, and they lost the true meaning of what Christmas is about. So anyhow, that's another show. That's another topic. That's another talk show for me to talk about. But anyhow, bah humbug. I'll be ready for Christmas to come by, fly by, and we can get back to a new year in 2022. Anyhow, great show. Finish Line. Let's get it started. Here's our guest lineup for today. All right, coming up, the back-to-back 4 wins in a row in his career. And the Kryptonite driver out of West Virginia. He's also landed a ride for Nice Motorsports for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series truck race in July of this year, for 2022. Parkersburg, West Virginia, the Kryptonite kid, Tyler Carpenter, going to be joining us here in a few moments. We're also going to talk to the other Dome winners, including Jonathan Beeson. He sweeped the midgets at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. He's getting ready for the Tulsa Shootout, the Chili Bowl. We'll talk to him, one of the greats of USAC and Power I Midget Racing, Jonathan Beeson. Also winning $10,000 on Saturday night at the Dome. Tyler Peterson, winner of the Modifieds at the Dome. We'll talk to him. And we're also going to chat with Rusty Daniels in hour number 1 about his win in the late models. His second win this year, had some engine problems early in the season, turned it around. The man out of Alliance, North Carolina, picked up the win at Goodyear All-American Speedway. We'll have him on the program. Then we go in hour number 2, which includes Derek Thorne, 3-time and defending Snowflake 100 winner and the Snowball Derby runner-up, Donnie Wilson, and I will let everyone know that Chandler Smith, I was going to say you don't have to reset the music, but it's all good. Chandler Smith, Donnie Wilson Motorsports. We got Donnie Wilson from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He's going to be joining us, longtime friend, car owner, Donnie Wilson Motorsports. He had Cole Butcher in the car, he had Chandler Smith in the car, and of course, he's had other greats in the race car, and Donnie Wilson, no slouch in racing himself. So Donnie Wilson is going to be joining us as the car owner to recap the Snowball Derby week from Pensacola. Also, Chandler Smith was scheduled for today. He literally contacted me and my producer at like the midnight hour, which basically is an expression in broadcasting of 10 minutes before going live. Exactly, Charles, exactly. And he has obligations with Toyota Racing Development. It's a lot of plans about what he's doing for next year. NASCAR truck plans, as well as for the super late models deal. So Chandler is going to be on Finish Line next Wednesday for the finale. All right? That's your guest lineup for Finish Line. We're going to get off early, possibly. Let's get it started. In the hot seat, the first guest ready to go. And, of course, it is Tyler Carpenter. He is already in place. He's already ready to go. The driver out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, the 2021 and 2019, because we didn't run the race in 2020. Gateway Dirt Nationals champion, a damn good friend of mine. We've got him on the program. Tyler Carpenter, good morning to you, buddy. Welcome to Finish Line.
How you guys doing, man? I just hope we don't get cut off this phone. People's been calling me left and right, and I kept having to sign in this thing, so I just hope we don't get cut short.
So I'm going to help you right now, okay? I'm going to help you solve this problem, Tyler. Just don't hang up on me. On your settings, find the block, okay? Now, don't block nobody, but just put Do Not Disturb. And if you put your phone on Do Not Disturb, if they call you, if they text you, if they try to hit you up, they can't reach you while you're at least doing the interview, okay?
Give me a
Does that
second.
sound good? There you go. He's going to make himself horizontal, vertical. He's going to put. He might now. First off, do you have an Android or do you have a iPhone, Tyler? If you got a damn iPhone, I can't help you. I'm not a fan of iPhones. Okay, what kind of phone you got, buddy? Oh, that's not good. That's not good. He put a block on us. All right, we'll try to get Tyler Carpenter here back with us in just a moment. I think he's trying to make sure I'm sure people are blowing his phone up left and right for sure. So he knows how to make the phone vertical. He's back with us again. Tyler, before going any further, buddy, man, congratulations to you. $30,000 winner at the Dome. Was this year's race, besides the opportunity for the truck ride with Nice Motorsports and so much more, special than the first one, or is it kind of culminates as the same? You got to unmute your mic, Tyler, if you can, buddy. Unmute your mic, buddy, if you can. Unmute your mic. Oh, we've lost the audio. Okay, Tyler, this is what I want you to do. Real quickly, hang up, call me back. Just hang up real quick, call me back. We lost your audio. We'll get you back. Like people, bring me back up on the screen. We're not even done social posting yet. When it's live, it's live. So we're just gonna disconnect real quickly from Tyler Carpenter. Our producers will get him back with us here. Maybe I shouldn't have had him do all the fancy stuff with his phone, but it's just anyhow. We'll reconnect with him. I'm not listening to you anymore, Charles. I broke it. I'm sorry. We'll get Tyler Carpenter back with us here in just a moment, and we'll try this again. So Tyler Carpenter, winner of the Gateway Dirt Nationals at the Dome, I believe. Is he back with us now? Swindlin, are you checking your instruments? Okay, we'll reconnect with him here in just a moment. So we had him, and then I was like, "Hey man, put this phone on block, do not disturb." When I done that, I guess he accidentally muted his microphone. So we'll try again here and try to reconnect with Tyler Carpenter again, man. Big win for him. Gateway Dirt Nationals, the Dome at America Center in St. Louis. It just seems like that place is like his home now. I know he resides in West Virginia, but what a special place it is for him and his family and the crew and the team. Kryptonite Race Cars, and for anybody in West Virginia that has always just wanted to try to have a chance to go after something and live a dream, he's doing it for sure. We're trying to get Tyler Carpenter back with us again. As you saw, we just had him on there just a few moments ago. So we get Tyler Carpenter on. I believe we got him back now. Tyler, you there? There you go. Tyler's back with us, and I think I can hear audio. What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. Not real clear, but I can hear you.
Okay. Well, listen, before I go any further, I asked you a question, and then we knew you had some audio issues, so I'm going to ask you that same question again. The win on Saturday, is it more special than the first win back in 2019, or is it kind of the same, even if you take away the opportunity to drive the truck ride for Nice Motorsports at Knoxville?
to be dead honest with you guys, it was just as special as the very first time, just because it's that event out there so unpredictable. You just never know what may or may not happen. Um, the very first event meant a lot to me and my family, but the second event just kind of iced it. Like maybe we wasn't so out of place, and maybe we was part of them guys. I was like the whole internet world. I kind of went with them. They was like, I think it was just a fluke. The kid got lucky, and I wasn't afraid to admit it. Heck yes, you got it out there, and I was definitely 2019. And this year, I was a nervous wreck. I had a lot I needed to back up, and whether I could or couldn't, I was going in that thing pretty confident. And man, I was just glad and fortunate it worked out like it did.
And you're the one that always says, all you damn keyboard warriors. And I love the fact, Tyler, that you just call it like it is, man. You say exactly what you think, what you're thinking, keyboard warriors, as we're getting a shot of Tyler's hair. I think he's trying to hear our conversation. But
Yeah, I can't
but no,
hardly hear you,
Tyler,
so
man.
you got to look at what.
Well, that's a first, because normally people can hear me a mile away. Man, I'll tell you, you literally, it just seemed like everybody, perfectly was in the right place, right time. The stars aligned for you, Tyler, whether it was on Thursday for preliminary night and even Saturday. Like, I'll never forget that look of when you drew the peel and it was number one. And the look on your face when you look back at Blake Anderson was just priceless, because it was just like, dude, I told you it's going to be my night. And literally you walked away with that sheer confidence, and only fitting that it was you and Tanner English in the first go around on Thursday night, and you were right there with them again on Saturday night too.
Yeah, that me and Tanner being together, man, that's what I told them guys all along. It's like a deja vu all over again. I was Tanner's stout there, and I knew I was going to have my work cut out for me, and I didn't want to have a big ruckus like we did in 2019. I wanted to keep things pretty clean between me and him, and just let the best man win. And I was just thankful my car was good enough to just keep me out front most of the weekend.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, the opportunity to drive for Nice Motorsports in the Truck Series at Knoxville on the dirt. How excited are you for this moment coming up? And I think we need some characters like yourself in NASCAR, Tyler.
Yeah, not just because it's me. I think the whole racing world just needs to be back to where it should be. Everybody forgets that we are racing dirt, and all these people trying to act like somebody they're not, or trying to put on the front. I understand that we need to keep things clean. There's people out there with kids and all that, but at the end of the day, they don't want some fake script race car driver. There's a lot of talent out there. It does some awesome things, but their celebration sucks. Whether they actually don't enjoy the fact that they won, or maybe they're not allowed to express how they. If I win a race, hell, I may have a heart attack. You never know, but a lot of these guys, either they're not allowed or they just don't care. And there's a lot of racers just like me that, hell, I get excited 1,500 to win races. It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's the fact that you finally, you won. You won the race. You achieved the goal. They just need to keep racing where it needs to be. Just keep it real. Be who you are. I understand, keep it clean, but I think the whole NASCAR deal needs somebody like me. And there's some that's tried to express their feelings, be how they are, be real, but they get smacked down, and they'll get fined over saying something stupid. But at the end of the day, we're just racers, and we're all human, and everybody has their own thoughts, their own opinions on things. And I don't know what NASCAR got themselves into by me winning this thing, or maybe I don't know what I got myself into. So at the end of the day, I'm going to this event and going to be me, and I'll keep it as clean as I can, but I'm still going to celebrate and be happy and be part of it. I'm not going to sit back and have these guys say, well, you just get in the seat and we'll do this and that. I'm going to be, hell, if I can turn a wrench on that truck, I'm going to.
Have you been in contact with Nice Motorsports? Have they reached out to you besides what happened at the Dome on Saturday? And have they already contacted you, getting all the plans? And because obviously, there's protocol that's got to be followed. Obviously, you have to go through some of the rigorous things of testing and try to fit the protocol for NASCAR. That's just a given. But, has Nice Motorsports already kind of laid out what they want you to do, where they want you to be, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, we've been talking back and forth. We've been on the phone with them and shooting messages and stuff, and I've kind of got to run down on some things, and I got to get down there to their shop and get fitted in the truck, and got to get my NASCAR license and get a lot of paperwork and stuff done. So not only
Sure.
me, but they're excited just as much as I am, I believe. So I think it's going to be a really cool, neat event, not for just me and this team. I think it's going to be awesome for the fans and everybody. So I'm really looking forward to it and make my first attempt at NASCAR and Knoxville Speedway. So it's pretty awesome, really.
Tyler, if you can take anything from the Gateway Dirt Nationals, if you could take anything from the Gateway Dirt Nationals the last couple of years, what would it be? What would it be that you could say to somebody? Obviously, we could literally continue the cliche of always follow your dreams, never give up, always go after what you want in life. But, we've heard those stories. But as a race car driver like yourself, a good old country boy from West Virginia, what could you take out of being a two-time champion back-to-back at the Gateway Dirt Nationals to somebody that's, wanted to be in your shoes maybe?
Well, I mean, the thing I can always say is, you always got to work hard and work. I mean, no matter if you think you can or can't, you got to work hard and go after it, whether you believe it's possible or not. And, I'm a perfect example of that. It's me winning the Gateway Dirt Nationals 2 times in a row is just crazier than hell to me. And I don't know if that part will ever actually sink in, but it just goes to show that if you work hard enough, you can achieve some of your goals, whether they're realistic or not. You set a high goal and you go after it. And, by no means did I ever think I'd land a NASCAR ride, but, that's just part of your hard work and dedication. And there's nothing about this racing world easy, and not even so much racing. There's so many things people want to do in life, and they just feel like they don't have the connections or whatever to be that person. And so you gotta dig your own roots and figure out where you need to lay yourself out at. And you may have to work 20 times harder than anybody just to achieve something so minor to get to the next page or the next chapter in life. And that's kind of what I've been trying to set myself up as. And I hope I'm not 90 years old before I make it to anything. But if anything, I'll die trying.
And one of the things that I have to say is, you kind of went through kind of a personal attack from people on social media. And I know why you feel the way you feel about some of these people. You just tell them to stick it where the sun don't shine, and you don't lose a night's sleep over it. And honestly, there should be a lot more people out there that could be the way you are, because, we all go through personal things in life. I've gone through personal trials and tribulations in life. I know you have. There's been things that you've dealt with through the last couple of years, your own self on a personal level, where sometimes people stick their nose in the business, and it should just be, guys, mind your own damn business. Having a personal life is already tough enough as it is, especially when you're in the spotlight. But you literally take it and you twist it for the advantage of putting people in their place. And Tyler, that's one thing I like about you, because you don't sugarcoat anything. And where does that personality come from?
Well, a lot of that is, and I understand I made mistakes in my life, and if you don't make a mistake, you're not human. And
that's right.
A lot of things I regret, and some of them I don't. But at the end of the day, you're going to have haters. I don't care if you do everything perfect in life, or you don't do anything wrong. You try to do everything, it's just on point. Somebody somewhere is going to hate it. And the way I see it, a lot of people that don't like me, either they don't know me or they do like me, and they just want to try to create some attention for themselves. So, I feel for them just as much as they feel for me. I just try to take, I don't care any kind of attention, whether it's negative or positive. I'll just take it and use it to my advantage. I read a lot of stuff. People say there's a lot of it I don't like, but it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, I'm still breathing. My family's doing good. I'm working every day. If I'm above ground, I'm doing perfect. You know what I'm saying? Until they put me in the ground, there ain't nothing wrong with me.
Hey, final question. We'll let you go, Tyler. I know you got to get back to work, man. What is the business been like for Chris, and how proud is your father, who's built his own name in racing, Fast Freddie Carpenter, of what his son's been able to do?
Oh, that's the way this business is. It's just a family business, and it doesn't matter if I win, he wins, my brother wins. A fellow racer in a kryptonite race car. We are super pumped about all this stuff, and um, you know, we are not like the capital of dirt racing as far as a chassis manufacturer. We originally started our business to be regional racers only, and actually originally we started it for our own selves, and a lot of people took interest in it. So we just slowly grown from there. Maybe one day may be amongst the top chassis manufacturers. I feel like we got just as nice product as anybody and is capable of winning. But with the way and anybody could tell you, but the way that today's world is with the engineers and the technology and stuff, hell, racers like us we can't compete on a national level like that. It's not that we ain't got the drivability. I mean, hell, we got the drive. We work hard, just as hard or harder than anybody even achieves races. But but as the Kryptonite family here in our family-owned business, it's been going just as successful and as well as I ever could imagine. So, and just one day, I like to put myself in my dad's shoes and my brother's shoes. I like to watch them. I like to be an outsider looking in and watch them win a race. I'd like to be on the edge of my seat on a massive event like that and be like, go, come on, god dang it, get it. I want to see you win this thing. Be pumped up and jumping up and down. Like, I want to be just as excited for them as they are me, and I want to experience that with one of my own myself.
Yeah, I'll always say that I will remember the first time that I ever had a chance to announce a race with your dad in it. He was driving the C4 car, Fast Freddie Carpenter at Elkins Raceway. Man, this was, well, I'm unveiling how old I am, but this was back in the 2001, 2002 Smart the Smart Steel Block Mid-Atlantic Auto Racing Tour. I was the series announcer, and he literally put on one hell of a show in Elkins, West Virginia, and he was roaring the mountains, and the fans are right there roaring with him. And you was just a little bitty thing back then, and it's amazing how long that I've known the Carpenter name and known Freddie and known you and known Chris, and through Fast Track and Ultimate and so many other things. And that's the thing in closing, Tyler. You build so many great friendships. It's about family. It's about the friendships you build with the drivers and the teams and the promoters and the sponsors and everybody along the way, for sure.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, man. And it's just maybe we'll never win a race. Hell, maybe we'll never make a dream start at Eldor or anything. But at the end of the day, you can see that the fans love. You can create a huge fan base, be very popular. They get it. You can get your fan base by being real and who you are, and
sure,
having them enjoy the fact that you're just like they are. And at the end of the day, we put our pants on the same way they do, and we ain't no superstars or rock stars. We're just like them. We work every day. We eat. We sleep. And there's a lot of racers just need to understand who they are and where they come from. And if they ain't had it rough, maybe they need to get a taste of it.
Well, Tyler, buddy, we'll let you go back to work. I know you're a busy man at Kryptonite Race Cars. Say hello to your dad and every family, all the kids. Have a great Christmas. Happy New Year, man, and I'll see you at the racetrack in 2022.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, my friend. The 2019 and 2021 Gateway Dirt Nationals Super Late Model Champion, and he's also landed a ride for East Motorsports in the NASCAR Camping World Truck event in 2022 at Knoxville Raceway. That is the Kryptonite Kid, Tyler Carpenter, joining us here on Finish Line. And we're going to go right to the lines and get our next guest on, and we're going to stay focused with the Gateway Dirt Nationals. And now we talk to the man who probably put on the biggest shoot. I mean, what a hell of a show. These midget cars, they put on a program. I'm disappointed in the car count. You had over Cody Summer, Jacob Nord, the powers that be invited you to come out for the midgets, and that only plus 18, 20 cars. Well, this guy swept the entire deal.
for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he picked up close to $20,000 or more in the last couple of days. Jonathan Beeston, welcome to Finish Line, buddy. It's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, not a problem. Hey, look, the Flow has done their phenomenal best to highlight all the races. And I know that you can't take anything away from what Tyler Carpenter did with the Nice Motorsports ride, but if there's anybody that can say probably what was the race of the weekend, hands down, it had to be in the midget feature on Saturday night. You were dead in the back. You had to race to the front. You went them down, and you win the race.
Yeah, it was crazy circumstances. Really, I was a little worried starting fifth in the feature, and I got out to the lead like super quick, and then got into a lap car, and then got put to the back. I really kind of thought the race was over, but man, my car was just so good that it was fairly easy to get back by, and I had some lanes to myself that were able to pass 2 or 3 cars a lap, and with 10 or 12 to go, I was back in fifth place. So really lined me up nice to get another shot at it.
What is it like running on that 1/5 mile inside the dome at St. Louis? You've got the roar of the crowd. You've got Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett obviously piping through your ear. Blake Anderson with the public address because it's probably one of the loudest sound systems in America. And just the vibes, the atmosphere, the Americana of dirt track racing inside of the dome. And you're in a midget car. What is it like going around that place?
I mean, the track's really phenomenal for us. I mean, I would obviously, from my point of view, it looks too small for the big cars, the modifieds, late models. But, there is a big crowd there, and the way that place seats them all is pretty neat. And to be honest, I really felt like until Saturday night that most of those people probably left their seats to go back and see their drivers of the other divisions. But with no other races Saturday night besides ours, they all stayed, and I think they probably got, like you said, they got to see the best show of the night. And when I won that race and got on the cage, I mean, that was probably one of the best feelings that I've felt around the race car or winning a race was the fans. I mean, I'm pretty sure every one of them was standing on their feet, and that was an amazing feeling.
Jonathan, let's get to know you here on Finish Line because this is your first time in the hot seat. Obviously, I did some checking up on you besides of what you've done at the Gateway Dirt Nationals, but you run midgets. You're getting ready for the Chili Bowl coming up, obviously. You run USAC midgets, the Power I midgets. I think I've met you, I think it was a couple of years ago at Ocala, Florida. I believe it might have been when you were down there for Speed Weeks in a midgets car. Just talk about your career and racing midgets on a full-time basis. And you also have a 9-to-5 full-time job, just like Tyler Carpenter does, who won the super late model race at the Dome. He's got a ride with Nice Motorsports. Granted, it's a one runoff deal for a truck race at Knoxville next year, but you noticed he's in this car in the parking lot at work preparing to do the interview with us like you're in the shop right now at work in the office.
Yeah, I'm in my office. I don't spend a lot of time here. We sell lawn equipment. That's my family started a lawn and garden business 35 years ago, and my sister and I run it now. And this is for Oklahoma. This is slow season. We don't get no snow, so we're kind of just finding things to keep busy out. So I'm working on the Chili Bowl car right now, getting it ready. But I mean, I started go-karts when I was 8 years old, and I did road racing. Asphalt was kind of our line of path to where I am now. And we had local little micro sprint track here at Port City Raceway, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth on the dirt. But really, asphalt was our main focus, and raced go-karts over in Malaysia and South Africa when I was 15 and 18. And then when I turned 18, we got a super late model, asphalt late model, and ran through southern Texas. And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, they think, as I'm 33 now, that just dirt, but it was asphalt for me. That was what we thought my ticket to stardom was. And even won in 07, I won New Smyrna Speed Weeks in a crate late model, and nobody knows that. But I won the Speed Weeks in 07. That was my last asphalt late model race. We kind of it was really expensive to do and needed a lot of help, and we just do those things we just really couldn't do right. And so that was when we got a midget, and so from when I was 18, we've been midget racing ever since.
And of course, Jonathan Beeson joining us here on Finish Line, and a big win for him in the midget cars. Is again the Gateway Dirt Nationals, a big show at the Dome. Tyler Carpenter just joining us. Beeson is here now. Tyler Peterson on the way, and I also want to give props to Nick Hoffman. And maybe we might schedule him for next week along with Chandler Smith, the Snowball Derby winner, because honestly, Beeson, he did really good in the late model, in the midget, and in the modified. He finished on the podium every time he raced at Gateway. And, that's phenomenal to be able to finish on the podium in 3 different types of car classes. And it just shows you just how talented, Nick Hoffman is. And of course, Beeson, dude, I watched the video. You bounced off the wall. Okay, here's the thing. Normally you want to miss the wall. When you're in a midget car, you sometimes want to bounce off the wall and make the wall your friend. Am I right? Especially with the right rear.
Yeah, that was kind of just one of those moments. I think we would just taken the white flag, and I really felt like that was the turn where I was going to make all my ground up. And I went in and made a little bobble, and I got stuck on the wall, and I really felt like I couldn't slow down and pull off the wall, or I wouldn't accomplish anything. So that was kind of one of those moments where I was like, I'm just, at this point, I'm either going to get second, or I'm either going to win, or I'm going to get second. And I just, put the throttle down. And somehow what's funny is that, I don't think I could do that every lap, but car had enough left in it to do it one time. And it was really fast. And then, but the wall coming onto the kind of got me, and it really cost all my momentum. And obviously, Zach, Dom, I owe it to him, because if he didn't do that, I wouldn't have the shot I had one more time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. So listen, a few more minutes. We got Tyler Peterson joining us. Rusty Daniels on the way in hour number 1. Of course, Derek Thorne, Donnie Wilson, Chandler Smith, the Snowball Derby winner, is rescheduling with us for next week on Finish Line. And, Jonathan, you said you're getting ready for the Chili Bowl. Man, how crazy is that race? How grueling? I mean, the Dome is 3 days, 4 days, obviously, with travel. You're there from Sunday night all the way to the following Saturday, and preparing for the Chili Bowl, man. What's your take of getting ready for Tulsa?
Yeah, the best thing about it is I live here in Broken Arrow, which is about 15 minutes from the track, so I get to sleep in my own bed every night.
There you
So
go.
that's nice. But I mean, it's like the Gateway, but you pack 5 more days or 3 more days around it, and it's just kind of, I'd say, the fans. I mean, they're what make it the event that it is. And just like at Gateway, now hopefully Gateway, you've got a little different genre of race fans, but maybe I help bridge the gap between those from late model or modified. Sure. But at the midget rate at Chili Bowl, it's mostly open wheel fans. But I'm sure there's just everybody likes a good race, right? So I mean, it's at some point it's who puts on the best race, and that you're going to enjoy it, and that gives you some gratification. So, but as far as the race, I mean, great. We've got 4-car team with some renters that that will rent our cars to make their attempt at the Chili Bowl. So it's a busy week, but the best thing for us, it's the biggest race. And then the prestige of it. But yeah, just getting to be at home and getting to go to your own bed, that makes it a lot better than sleeping in a hotel.
Hey, Jonathan, listen very closely, because the guy that's the God in my voice, in my ear, my producer, has got a couple of questions for you. So listen for him now.
So I got two questions. One, I'm in Wichita Falls, Texas. I'm very close to you. I gotta know, do you use bolted spine design as your wraps? And two, did you get a mullet last time from Rico at last year's event?
No, so Rick did do our graphics, and we've made a couple of changes since then. But no, 2 years ago I had my own mullet, and had really good luck at the Chili Bowl. Finished second to Larson on a prelim night and sixth Saturday night. And then last year, my wife didn't care too much for my hair and cut it off, and I did horrible luck. So this year it's coming back, but it's not going to be quite as long as Rico's.
Well, there you go. So that answers some of the questions for sure. So Charles, how far is Wichita Falls from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, or Tulsa, Oklahoma? Basically,
It's not that, maybe a couple hours, if that. It's not far.
Okay.
We're very close.
Yeah. So you'd have to get a hotel room still.
No,
He's right in the comfort of his own home. You'd drive.
I have a friend actually that lives in Oklahoma, so I usually go with him.
Okay. Carpool. There you go. Save on gas, especially when the gas prices are shot up to hell and back thanks to Joe Biden. All right, we got a few more minutes with Jonathan Beeson here on Finish Line. Tyler Peterson is up next. Jonathan, man, final question for me, and we'll let you go. What's your plans for the rest of the year? Are you pretty much done? Just getting ready for the Chili Bowl coming up in January? That's it?
Yeah, for us it is. I mean, we love the Gateway. It's kind of a nice little race right before the Chili Bowl, get some practice. I hate that we're probably not coming back next year. Maybe they'll miss us and bring us back. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a full-time racer.
Wait a minute. They're not bringing the midgets back next year?
That's when we were there Saturday. That was the story, was that they weren't coming back.
Wow. And you guys put on a hell of a show. Like, seriously.
It could change. I think it comes back to what you said earlier about, just the car count. And with the way the schedule comes from the national guys, leading into that, is really just going to be very difficult for some of the traveling guys to make it and still have the time they need to prepare for the Chili Bowl. For me, I only race about 10 times a year, so I had the last month to prepare for this race, and obviously it showed.
Gotcha.
But so for us, it's a good race. It may just not be fitting for I guess you'd call it the pro guys.
Gotcha. Definitely. Well, Jonathan Beeson, man, I hope that's not the case, because you guys put on one hell of a show, in my opinion. Not taking anything away of what Carpenter put on in late models, and we got Peterson coming up now in modifieds, and they're big wins. But in my opinion, the midgets definitely deserve their part to be a part of the Dome. Hopefully somebody will reconsider. I'm going to try to message Cody Summer myself and text him and be like, dude, what are you thinking? What the hell? Watch the race. Watch the replay on Flow. So, yeah.
Told me he pleasantly enjoyed that race. So I'd thank them for having us, and hopefully we'll reconsider
Things for sure. Jonathan Beeson, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us on Finish Line. Be good to yourself. Have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. Good luck at the Chili Bowl. We'll have you on again sometime.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and same to you for the happy holidays.
You too, buddy. Thank you very much. There you go. Jonathan Beeson, ladies and gentlemen, winner at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Pull out the broomstick, because he swept all 3 midget races, and what a hell of a race they put on Saturday night. One more guest on Saturday's recap of the Gateway Dirt Nationals, and that is the driver of Tyler Peterson. He joins us now here in the hot seat on Finish Line. You notice he's still wearing the Gateway Dirt Nationals hat. He is, looks like he's on his phone, maybe. Tyler, you with us, buddy? Hello, Tyler. He's frozen. Tyler, are you with us? Tyler, can you hear me, buddy? Tyler Peterson, are you there? Swindling, check your instruments. We're going to. All right, so we got audio from Tyler. Let's disconnect Tyler, and let's see if we can reconnect with him again. Let's do that. When you're live, you're live. So all this is happening in real time logistically. So let's disconnect. There he is. Nope, don't do that. Don't. Stay right there. Hold your frame. Tyler, welcome to Finish Line, buddy. We're about to hang up on you.
Are we good now? Can you hear me?
We are. We're good. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you got the rat spinning on the wheel again and the internet got cranked up one more time or something. But, hey, welcome to Finish Line, sir. First-time guest on the program and big win for you in modifieds at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Tyler? Are you there?
Yeah, that was a little unexpected. I didn't expect to go into that deal and win it. We were just hoping for a good run.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you, definitely. Well, listen, big win for you. I got you. Okay, hold your fire. A big win for you on Saturday. Modified racing, also cool inside the dome. You know, we talked about the late models, the midgets, obviously. The modifieds are really, really cool. What's it like driving an open wheel modified on a tight confines of an indoor 1/5 mile track like the dome? Are you there, buddy? Are you there? There's such a bad delay. Are you there? Are you there? Are you back with me? Is it him? Is it me? Something, bring me back. It's not me. It's on him. It's not on me. Normally, I'm like screwing up the internet on a weekly basis. My producer's just cussing in my ear, but it's not me. We'll get Tyler Peterson back here in just a moment.
It's definitely different. I raced at Macon one time, like 2 years ago or two, and it's similar to that, but the dirt's so much different.
Gotcha.
What is going on?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
let's let Tyler. I don't know if you can hear me or not, buddy, but let's disconnect and let's reconnect, and we'll try this again. So, well, let's try this. We got you now. You back with us? Can you hear me?
I hear you. I don't know why it keeps going away.
There you go. It's like you're like a 30-second delay. It's like if you're gonna drop a F-bomb, we're gonna. So it's all good, though. It's all good, man. It's all good. So listen, Tyler, I think we got you back going good. The spokes on the wheels are turning with the rabbits inside the internet room. Talk about how you got your career started, buddy. The modifieds are so cool. They're so exciting. I think I've seen your name on the Hell Tour. I've seen you on dirt car races. We've seen you running the American Modified Series. You're not afraid to travel. And obviously, would you say this Gateway Dirt Nationals win is the biggest win of your career, or is there other big modified wins you've had in outdoor events in the past?
Oh, this is definitely my biggest win in the modified. I started racing like 10 years ago on the B mods. We raced with Soda B mods in North Dakota, Minnesota, and we moved up to the modifieds in 2015. And just this year, we had a national championship battle with Shane Zabrowski, and we ended up winning by 1 point. So definitely that game.
Tyler, winning the Gateway Dirt Nationals is so emotional, man. I saw you pull into victory lane on Saturday night, and you're just beating the hell out of the hood. I mean, how badly did you damage the roof?
Oh, I think it's fine. Show a buff out. We're gonna auction it off on my Facebook page and give it to some awesome fans. So, man, I was pumped. Never had a win like that before, and just the crowd really makes it special there.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. Racing inside the dome, it looked like for you and for Carpenter, is it about the invert? Is it about the redraw? And if you can get up in the front, you know, and obviously I'm kind of saying that might be a dumb question, but for the midget race, Jonathan Beeson had to go all the way to the back, and he raced all the way back to the front to win the race in the end to sweep the midget portions of the Gateway Dirt Nationals this year at the Dome. But Is it about the invert? Is it about the redraw? If you can draw that number one, you're in a good spot, and you just gotta hold everybody at bay. What does it take to survive to be one of the winners like yourselves in the Gateway Dirt Nationals yearly? I think, Tyler, can you hear me, buddy? Can you hear me? Are you there?
Oh, there's definitely it's a lot of circumstance. Around the front row really helps because obviously it's a small racetrack. There's wrecks, and just avoiding those is big. So if you can start up front, it definitely helps. But then again, Ledford came from 11th to get second. So say if you have a good car, you can probably get to the front. But yeah, there's so much circumstance.
Yeah, drop the knob.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yes, sir. We're just like, there's like a bad delay, and I think it's on your end. Hey, are you connected to Wi-Fi, or are you connected to your cellular data network? That's what I'm wondering. If you're connected to Wi-Fi, maybe. We'll find out here. So definitely. Oh, a few more minutes. We got Tyler. I don't want to lose him. Great interview. Sounds like a great kid. Great personality. Tyler is joining us here on Finish Line. Of course, he won the modified portion of the Gateway Dirt Nationals. But when you're live and you have internet logistical issues, there's nothing you can do about it. You just try to find a wing as best as you can. Matter of fact, I think he froze. I think we lost him.
Oh, I was on Wi-Fi, and then I just turned it off, and now I did the now cellular.
Your Wi-Fi is turned off, and now you're on cellular. Okay, well, maybe this will work here. We'll give you a few more minutes for sure. Hopefully, it'll speed this thing up here. So, Tyler, real quickly, man, just kind of talk about how you got your racing career started, and obviously, people know you now after your big win at the Dome. But where you been racing at? Where you run modifieds at? What your plans are for 2022?
We raced modifieds in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. That's what Soda sanctioned, but I like to run USRA when I can.
Yeah, this. let's kill it. Let's kill it, Charles. This is, man. Tyler, thank you, buddy, for joining us here on Finish Line. We'll
I consider
get him on another.
Like an outlaw, run whatever. So
yeah,
we had a national championship battle this year with Shane Zabrowski up here, and we ended up winning that by one. So next year we're gonna do the same old and just run modifieds wherever we want to.
Gotcha. Hey, listen, Tyler, I don't know if you can hear me. There might be like a 20-second delay. I don't get it. 1 minute it's like coming in perfectly. The next minute it's like, like a robot sounded. So definitely, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Finish Line. Congratulations to you, your big win. Obviously, something you'll never be able to have taken away from you, having the moment of winning at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. And Tyler Peterson, again, we appreciate him joining us on the program. With that said, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Dirt Car Lift, Crate Insider, MPM Marketing. Tanya McAllister's watching. Shout out to my buddy from Flow Racing, Brandon Paul. And, of course, Flow Racing did a phenomenal job in the race at the Gateway Dirt. If you didn't know, they also announced last week Flow Sports has signed with NASCAR too. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. Rusty Daniels, Derek Thorne, Donnie Wilson, all on the way as we move to our recaps of the Snowball Derby.
Let me tell you about MPM McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
If you have not ordered at DirtCarLift.com in the motorsports racing world, you are absolutely way behind. But if you are an existing customer of the Dirt Car Lift product, you already know about why they use the concept of stop jacking and start lifting. DirtCarLift.com helps make things very easier in the pit area. Whether you need to change a flat tire, make a shock or spring adjustment, DirtCarLift.com can get all four sides up immediately, then having to go around from side to side to car. By the way, they have a special package and price for existing customers with a few changes to make your life a little easier. Give them a call at DirtCarLift.com today. Call them up again at 770-898-3907. 770-898-3907. And find out why the concept is true. To stop jacking and start lifting with DirtCarLift.com at the races today.
Not the video, but for the radio. Oh well, we're back on. It wasn't me. I promise. Welcome back. Hey, Brandon Paul. We moved up from the helping stone to the helping knob in the broadcast booth. So we're live on the air, and I'm talking to Tyler Peterson, and the friggin' knob falls off of my damn office desk. So you can't make this up. Can't make this up. We're awaiting Rusty Daniels. Okay, Rusty, where are you? Okay, you're late. You're late to tech. Hey, speaking of tech, Charles, I want to bring you in here, dude. Tech at the Snowball Derby. People, I have never seen so many people just totally bitch and complain about how long Tech went at the Snowball Derby. They ain't been to a dirt race. And then I saw people on dirt racers that are like dirt super late model racers that were like, yeah, well, Tech's not that hard in dirt. Blah, blah, blah. Dude, whatever. I've been to Tech at dirt tracks where literally the sun came up the next day and you're still getting your car teched. Your take on this, buddy?
I am a very, very firm believer in very strict tech, especially when you're talking about thousands of dollars on the line. Tear that engine apart. There's a kart track, Cam Kartway, in Rome, Texas, and they will tech your cart. They will put your cart until you go home. We'll send you the parts back later if it passes tech. They'll keep it overnight on your go-kart engines. And I'm a firm believer that however long it takes, get tech done properly. And I won't mention the series ASCS2, where they had a rule in the book. I kid you not. I know a person that cheated on this rule. I will not mention their name. But the ASCS2 Micro Mini Sprints rulebook at the time, I don't know if they've changed it, had a black box, which, governs your RPMs. And the rules stated that it had to be stock appearing. That was it. And, well, people went in there and they would take it off, turn up their RPMs, put it back together, and it looked stock appearing. And they would have 1,000 more RPMs than everyone else on the track. So, yes, I am a very, very firm believer in rip that engine apart, rip every part of that car apart, and make sure they pass tech.
Charles, I have to say I agree with you, bud. And literally there are marquee big races across the country where you need to vigorously go through post-race inspection. Now, yeah, obviously when you're on the grind with a series and a tour and you're going from one place to the next, you don't want to be there all night long. But when there's like a certain amount of money on the line up more, then yes, you've got to go through post-race inspection. And here's the thing with super late models. And this is what a lot of people don't realize about teching a super late model, like a Jonathan Davenport or a Tyler Erb or a Tyler Carpenter or Scott Bloomquist. And we've had them on finish line several times over. But Charles, here's the deal. In super late model racing, as long as you meet pre-tech and you're not light at the scales, that's the only thing they can really bust you with. Super late models is soup up and do whatever the hell you got to do to win the race. And as long as you're in the confines of the rule book, then you're fine. But with pavement racing, with crate racing, obviously, you've got a chance of traction control. You've got illegal fuel. You've got, they even went as far as going into the ignition boxes and messing with the wiring to check and see if wire control at the Snowball Derby. But when you're paying a really good amount of money, like you said, Charles, you've got to go through this inspection. There's no two ways around it. You have to go through it.
Oh, I definitely agree. Like I said, tear it apart, take it to the ground where there's nothing but air in the tires left. It's just what you have to do to make it fair to where nobody can come back a week later and say, well, he cheated, blah, blah, blah. I could have beat him any day. It's just, the way it has to be. If you don't like it, well, then I suggest you go find a local track somewhere or travel to a track that has one of those infamous classes that everybody just gets in for fun. And that's called Run What You Brung and hope what you brung was enough and just throw everything at the car. And then there's no teching involved.
That's right. And then there's no hurt feelings, and there's nobody getting mad, and there's no, well, this guy done this to me, and that guy done that to me. No, you're good with what you got. You're happy with what you have, and you rock and roll. And again, I could rant on this forever. But Charles, I have stayed, and my buddy Tom Ryan is chiming in, and he texted me the other night, and he was like, dude, you need post-race inspection, because if there's anybody that I know that knows about staying up till the cows come home and the sun's rising the next morning, it's you. Because one of the things that I do on a yearly basis, Charles, is the Fast Track World Championship. Now, obviously, we didn't do it this past year because of COVID. We didn't do it last year because of COVID. Hopefully in the tire apocalypse, things will be better in 2022. But there are big races where you literally, if you win the $50,000 World Championship, and this has happened to Brandon Overton, this has happened to, hell, I think Tyler Carpenter's been there before. Matt Long, I think of these guys. I think of Logan Robertson. Just some of the names in the most recent, Max Blair, some of the most recent names I can think of at the top of my head, David Smith. You win the Fast Track World Championship, your car is getting to the drive shaft. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's not going to be any cutting corners. You're going to be there all night long. They're going to check fuel. They're going to check oil. They're going to check all the specs. They're going to check the engines. They're going to check the intake. They're going to check the carburetor. They're going to check the headers. They're going to check the, what do you call it, where you check and see if anybody is kind of tampered with the inside the header of the engine. Brad Hibbard, Shane Haynes, the best of the best in tech, in my opinion. And they're going to make sure before Bill Sawyer hands out that $50,000 check, pending tire results as well, Charles, which is a given now across the country in all forms of racing, your engine's going to be right.
Yeah, I agree. And luckily we have guest 5 connected. But real quick before we get to him, one thing I think, and this is no one really talks about it, is yes, you need tech. I don't care how long it takes, get it right. And I've seen this in the go-kart racing world, which is kind of where I primarily go nowadays, is do not have the tech related or bias towards any group of drivers. I know there was an incident, this was many years ago, where a go-kart driver, they didn't alter their engine. They just polished it up a little bit. It didn't harm the engine. It didn't change anything. But the tech guy was friends and buddies with some of the drivers, and he took that and said, this has been altered, when really all it had been was polished up a little bit. It didn't change the diameter of it. And, they called him, said he was cheating, and took his win away. So I think you need tech, and I think you need a qualified, unbiased tech that doesn't have any relationship, friends, family, anything like that with any of the drivers out there. They need to be brought in as a third party.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you something else as well, and we'll bring in Derek Thorne. If you are somehow involved in the engine department, and there's been controversies about this before, but there might be, okay, and here's the thing. If you are the person that put the engine in the car that has to be teched, I'm not saying that you can't be there, but if that's a conflict of interest, obviously, you need to party in to help with the technical side of the engines, because you can't have a guy with a Hendren race engine and Steve Hendren checking a Hendren race engine.
Oh, I agree.
And that's not throwing my buddy Steve Hendren under the bus. You could say Clements Race Engines. You could say any engine company, Andy Durham Racing, any of these guys, all friends of mine. But you can't have this guy checking his own engine. Yeah, he might know the specifications of his engine, but you got to have somebody else there that's the tech. And the best thing is, you said, and that's one of the things that I love about what Ricky Brooks and his tech department do. Ricky sits back, he observes, he watches, he officiates from afar. And we can bring in Derek Thorne now, because he could also tell you his side of things on tech too. But, he sits things and watches things from afar. And then in doing so, he allows his crew, his group of people, handle the technical side of this. And again, we could talk about this all day, all night long. I'm sure we'll get Derek Thorne's thought on this. 3-time and defending Snowflake 100 winner. He literally led close to 287 of 300 laps in the Snowball Derby, which was the fastest Snowball Derby on history this past Sunday at Five Flags Speedway. We'll get his thoughts on the bump and run, or the move that Chandler Smith made to win the race. Derek Thorne, do you still feel 72 hours later that the Snowball Derby got taken from you, bud?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be one they'll be pissed about for a long time. It's it just sucks, is what it does.
Let me ask you a question. If you were Chandler Smith, would you have done that to him?
I watched the video and stuff. I got to look back with the Majeski incident from a year ago, 2 years ago now, I guess. And he had some class about it. I guess there was some finesse involved, a little bit of skill, I'd call it. He did it right. But with Chandler, I don't know if he was busy pretending like he was still driving his truck or something, but how he did it was just crap. It was just a hack move, in my opinion, and I'd like to think that if I was in a position like he was to do something like that, I wouldn't have done it the same way. It's just, you don't try to move a guy going in the corner like that, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's he got the trophy and we didn't, and my opinion really doesn't matter. It's $43,000 we would have had a shot at, and in my opinion, he made a bonehead move and cost us a shot at it, and he went on to win it.
Derek, your take of tech. I want to get your thoughts on this, because we've known each other a long time. at least the last 3-4 years, if that, in doing stuff back again with pavement racing. The technical side of things, do you think it's gotten out of hand? Do you think this is exactly what we need in pro and super late model racing? Pavement and dirt, obviously more pavement for you, preferably speaking the Snowball Derby weekend at Five Flags Speedway. Has tech got just so far-fetched? Are they looking for a needle in a haystack to try to find something? And were you hoping, obviously as fumed as you was about what Chandler Smith did, moving you out of the way for the win, that maybe, Ricky Brooks could find something illegal on the car and give you the win on a technicality?
No, I 100% love what Ricky Brooks does. He's made, in my opinion, he's made our West Coast program better because he is now our West Coast guy that comes to tour races each week, and he keeps everybody to a higher standard. If you don't have a guy like Ricky who is just black and white, there's a rule book, abide by it. Don't try to squeeze through the gray areas thinking you're going to get away with it, because he's going to catch you eventually. And the Derby is a prime example of he's got to keep people honest. I think that's why the Derby helps the Derby be what it is. Yeah. When guys show up from out of town, they know they have the same stuff, right? You don't want any more, any less than anybody has. You want the same thing. So Ricky helps raise the bar on that. And then, in the Wilson Motorsports case, they were caught illegal last year. They had intake manifolds that weren't up to spec. So at the end of the day, they have to be held accountable for one. They have already stepped on their own. I guess they did it wrong, or whoever did, whether motor builder or them, whether they're knowingly doing it or not. But when they come to the Derby and they win again, I think people are like, hey, it's last year wasn't quite right, so let's tech them and make sure this thing's going to be accurate this time.
Derek, got a question coming in, buddy, and have you ever had a tech infraction at the Snowball Derby as long as you've been going there?
No, we haven't. Ricky's he's one of those guys where you get on his good side, you make sure you treat him with respect, try not to sneak anything through. And I feel like we've been Campbell Motorsports, Mike Keene, Byron Campbell. We do everything we possibly can to make sure within those rules, and we have not been in that position at the Derby at all.
There you go. Well, we're talking with, again, the driver of the number 43 out of California. The driver is, of course, Derek Thorne. 3 years in a row. 3 years, Snowflake 100 winner. I was looking up stats on this. And let's be honest here, Derek. Let's go back to Saturday. It was announced in the drivers' meeting early Saturday morning that the race was going to pay $10,000 to win. You won the pit pay pole position bonus, so you literally pocketed $15,000 in one day of work. That's pretty damn good.
It was, to not be there all year. I think that's kind of one of the biggest testaments to this team as we show up. I guess I wouldn't say sight unseen, but it's been 365 days removed from the track. So when we show up, we have a lot to learn, a lot to catch up on. And we're just fortunate to have the equipment we have and have the speed we have, but to go against those guys, to not only get the pole for the Derby, then get the pole for the Snowflake, and then have a shot at the extra $5,000 on the pro side, plus the $10,000 to win deal. You obviously go into the race with high expectations, but it's awesome when it all comes together, especially when the payday's that big.
Derek Thorne again joining us here on Finish Line as we continue to have him in the hot seat. He's been on the program with us several times throughout the year in 2021. And, of course, I appreciate his friendship. Derek, somebody Charles, if you want to bring me back in side by side, we can do this. Somebody told me yesterday, and I also saw this in a social media post, because it makes me want to ask you this question. Do you feel you're probably one of the greatest pavement late model drivers in the country? Because a lot of people think that you are by far in the number one spot.
That's all, and I've told people this before. I think it's 90% equipment, 10% driver. But I've been with Byron now and Mike Keene for going on 10 years, and it's a work in progress. If I feel like I'm honing my craft, this is all I do. It's I work on race cars as a living. The driving part's the side of the perk to it. You know what I mean? So we work hard on our stuff here at the shop, and I feel like I wouldn't say the best driver talent-wise. I think there's so many guys or kids out there that have so much ability behind the wheel, but I'm just in good stuff. And we've all been together in the same boat for the last 10 years trying to make our stuff better, and fortunately right now it's clicking. I think our program is one of the best in the country for sure. we'll continue to try to chip away at it. You know, it's nice to be able to show up to a race and know that you're in contention and put on a list with the best that's there. And, you know, I think to look back at the Derby and stuff, we're now on like, I didn't realize, but like 638 or 50 laps right now in total at the Derby. And, you know, and we're like third all time of all the greats that have run the Derby. You know, and that's a very humbling thing to read, because I you know, 10 years ago, it was the first time going there. I was just trying to go from the West Coast and be noticed on the East Coast. You know, any dream of a driver is to just be recognized. And, you know, we went back there, tried, we flipped, we blew 2 engines doing it. But in doing so, it kickstarted something that's now 10 years later, we're now leading 289 laps of 300 at the Snowball Derby against the best in the country. So it's a testament to the team. I feel honored to be driving for them, and we're just lucky to have what we have right now.
Again, we're talking with Derek Thorne, 3-time defending winner of the Allen Turner Hyundai Snowflake 100, second in the Snowball Derby. In addition to that, of course, he was the man. Derek, it's got to be heartbreaking, okay? I mean, I don't want – me and you are friends here, but, you know, we're doing a show, and I'm going to be bluntly honest. You had to be pissed, and it's got to be heartbreaking to literally come so close to pulling out that virtual broomstick or pulling out the broomstick and sweeping the Snowflake 100 and the Snowball Derby. Fastest race on history. You led them most close to all the laps in the event. And then to have something like that happen. Do you think it had, okay, these competition cautions, do you feel like that had something to do? Do you think the format's being taken away of the race for the drivers because the tower wants to control the show? And do you feel like maybe they should pull away and let the drivers race more and let you guys have at it yourselves? I mean, we've seen this happen in Martinsville, and it seems like the last 3 to 5 years now we've saw Derby.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it is. It's not. The tower has, you know, the race monitor for a minute, which kind of caused some chaos with the spotters and figuring out exactly where we were at on competition cautions. But we knew one was coming. The way the cautions had fallen that day, we knew there was going to be a competition caution with 20 to go, right? That's just, it's kind of cut and dry, and it wouldn't be right for the tower to, you know, come on the radio and rescind that per se, just because it was the last 20 laps. So like, we knew it was coming, win, lose, or draw. And I'm not happy it came out, but at the same time, it's just like Ricky Brooks and Tech. You know, there's some point in time you got to stick to your guns and advertise and how things are presented in the rule book and how the race is going to play out. You know, it's just, that's the facet of the Derby. People had always asked me, you know, how do you feel your chances are you got the car to beat? And I'm like, this race is 90% luck. You know, you could have the best car, lead all the laps, which we did almost. And, you know, it just comes down to right place, right time, the right set of tires at the right time, track position, who's behind you, who's willing to move you. It's chaos, right? But that's kind of what this sport's about. It's about entertainment and chaos, and people want to see late race restarts. You know, I love leading all the laps at the Derby, but at the same time, it's not exactly the funnest race to watch. You know, people want to see moving and guys shuffling and things going up and back and sideways and whatnot. And, you know, it's just the competition fell at a time that just didn't necessarily suit us, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
What does your 2022 schedule look like for you for next year, Derek? Obviously, Spears SRL, Southwest Tour. I know you've had a lot of success in that. You're going to go for that again. And are we going to see you run some of the other events? You know, they announced a couple of weeks ago that the Southwest Tour is moving in the Midwest and more of the, you know, Southeast in next year, this upcoming season. Right. Your take on that?
No, it's cool to see Brian and Larry Collins from the Spears series branch out. You know, it's not a points race for the SRL per se. They're just the ones promoting. It sounds like Berlin, the Money in the Bank race, and then one other one they had there. But we don't know what we're doing yet for 2022. We're supposed to sit down in the next few days and hash it out. We're still kind of up in the air. Carlos Vieira, my teammate, he's interested in doing some part-time stuff with the SRL. Jacob Gomes as well. We help out from time to time. He's running the tour. But I've been trying to branch out a little bit and do more consulting stuff. You know, it's running the tours keeps me plenty busy driving for Byron, but I've been trying to help out some younger kids in Madera, Jaden Walbridge, Kyle Keller, Haley Lyles, and some other kids here. And, you know, I think as my life moves forward, I am fortunate to have Byron and driving for him, but I'd be naive to think it's going to last forever. So in the time being, I'm enjoying the ride, but at the same time, trying to look towards the future and being smart about what the future might hold for me is from a business standpoint. So I'll be working on that into 2022, but hopefully at the same time, we'll be able to figure some stuff out, run some bigger races against the best in the country, come back to the Derby again, and hopefully have another shot at it.
And obviously, 3 years, Snowflake, top of the board in Snowball Derby, set the pole. Obviously, you everything for so many years has failed perfectly for you, as you said, Derek. You just cannot get to the finish line, even though you crossed the finish line. Just not first at the Snowball Derby,
Right.
man. How nerve wracking is that? Do you have you had nightmares? Have you had PTSD of what happened Sunday afternoon? If you could go back, would you go back and give him the chrome horn? Was there ever any intent of, man, I'm gonna run this sucker down and I'm just gonna give him what he owes me? You know, he gave it to me, I'm gonna give it back to him. You know, where does the aggressiveness and then, well, that's just racing, come out of the place in this deal?
Yeah, that's the mixture of emotions that is always hard after a week like that. And after the race, I got out and asked the fans what they thought about it. And to my surprise, there was a lot of pissed off people in the stands after that one. I was actually, I think I may have gained quite a few fans via Chandler Smith. So I guess I could thank him for that. But at the end of the day, I think back and wish that I would have, I tried to act as professional as possible. I have a lot of sponsors to represent,
Sure.
and my son was there, and I'd love to get out and just start roundhousing them, or jump in his window and start doing something more exciting, or maybe it'd make me feel better come Monday. But at the end of the day, they knew we were there. We led all the laps. The only thing I could have done different is drop into second and been the one that gave him the chrome horn, right? But there's always a risk when you're racing people, when you're giving them the chrome horn, that they're going to spin out, right? And then you've made it 280 laps into the Derby, and an aggressive moves puts you and that guy involved to the back. But when he got into us, I thought it was aggressive enough to where we borderline were going to maybe spin. But at the end of the day, I didn't, which played out in his favor. Had I spun, he'd be going to the back with me. But at the end of the day, those are the risks you got to take come the end of the Derby. And I guess I got to rethink my strategy, because leading all the laps isn't working, right? It's getting us to the finish line. And the cars are so fantastic right now, but obviously it's not playing into our favor of winning any, for sure.
And, some people come back in response to Derek, and they were like, well, Chandler did this to Derek. Well, Derek did the same thing to Cole Butcher. He moved to the second spot there. So, I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Your take on that? Or was that just frustration of just trying to get back to the front?
I've learned in all the comments I've kind of read, some of the ones I've read, it's a lot of it's perspective, right? A lot of these people that have opinions haven't really driven Pensacola per se, but there's a place and a time to move somebody. And when I got into Butcher, it was in the middle of 1 and 2, which is the perfect spot to get a guy a little bit jacked up. He loses a little bit of bite off. He slides up a half a groove, and you get him on the backstretch, right? It was what I did to him. It's Chandler's deal, in my opinion, it was a punt. Like, he was trying to punt me into the corner, which on fresher tires like that in that position, it's just a shit. It's, in my opinion, it's a shit move. And I did Butcher. I thought it was in a different spot, that it's a little more, I would say, more finesse involved in how Chandler Smith went about it. But tomato, that's my opinion. Everybody's going to have one, and it doesn't change the outcome of anything.
That's right, for sure. Well, listen, Derek, man, thank you so much for your numerous years of knowing you, always being a straight shooter, saying what you think, whether good or bad on the subject. Man, you just, it's like you've become like Bubba Pollard. Damn it all, I just want to see you finally kiss the Tom Dawson trophy, because I feel like you deserve it. But there's just so many things that you've just got to continue to work towards. Maybe 2022 will be the year. And, of course, you have another, 360 days to think about it and rehash it and try to do it again next year.
Right. And I appreciate you, man. Thanks for what you do. It's awesome to have the coverage that short track racing has, yourself included, to be able to get on and express our opinions, right? That's kind of the beauty of this sport, is everybody's got an opinion, wants to express it, and that's what keeps fans coming back. But to have Race in America and you do what you do, and to be able to have the national coverage now, the Derby is a platform for myself to race against the best, but to also be noticed. The Derby is something that a lot of people sit down on the couch and watch and tune into that otherwise never would, on a race like on the West Coast. So, it's our job. I think we won 9 of 10 this year on the West Coast, and I feel like when we come out east, it's our job to make sure the West Coast is taken serious. And luckily, the last few years we've gone out there, we've been a force to be reckoned with and had great speed. And fortunately, I hope, just in time that the West Coast is taken more serious. And, as we represent it, it's one of those things where we're on the map per se, and it's awesome to have the people, the eyes and ears watching.
Yeah, for sure, man. Derek, thank you so much, bud. Have a great one. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you. And it's good to be able to see the little one there hanging around you. I know he's missed Daddy. He's been gone for like 10 days. So there you go. In the race shop, messing with the cowboy hat. So thank you, buddy. Derek, thank you so much for your time, pal. Yes, sir. You too, buddy. Yes, sir. Definitely. Derek Thorne, everybody, with his family, with his son. Of course, you got to think about it. They've been on the road for the last, 10 days or more in Pensacola. Plus, he's a West Coast guy. So he's all the way in California in Bakersfield. That's a big time change. We are getting ready to go to the lines, and joining us is our final guest. Okay, so we get the perspective from Derek Thorne and his take on things. Chandler Smith has obligations with Toyota Racing Development, and he is rescheduled for next Wednesday for our finale of Finish Line of 2021. But joining us is I've known this guy a long time. I think of ASA and the Southeast Asphalt Tour, and, as many RC Colas and Moon Pies we used to chow down at the racetrack. Number 2 machine, and of course out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Donnie Wilson. Donnie is now not only still a race car driver, but more become a car owner and a winning car owner. You look at what we had when Sammy Smith won. He won the race at New Smyrna. He won the Winchester 400. Donnie Wilson, you are putting in caliber drivers in your race cars. It had to have been difficult to step out of the cockpit of the car, especially being somebody as yourself.
Well, I agree. I mean, it's tough for me to not to drive, but I've got great drivers, and I feel really comfortable with that right now. And we're winning races, so we put a good group together, and it's all about the people, that we've surrounded ourselves with, and I'm just tickled to death with it.
Man, I tell you what, the operation for you out of Oklahoma, you've got drivers like Cole Butcher up in Nova Scotia, Canada. You've got, obviously, Sammy Smith driving cars for you. And now you put Chandler Smith in the car. And, I've had Chandler on Finish Line earlier this year. It has been a roller coaster season for him, not just in the super late model world, but also in his NASCAR ARCA endeavors. It had to have been so special, and controversial as it may be. And I want you to give your thoughts on things too. Would you have done it? Derek Thorne gave his thoughts on things. I've heard other people on social media say, oh, he didn't know that was racing. When do you draw the line, Donnie? And you've been a long-time racer yourself. What's your take of what happened? Take yourself out of the car owner role. Was that racing that happened on Sunday afternoon to win the Snowball Derby?
Well, I mean, I feel like it was. I mean, we've seen the same situation last year with Majeski and Derek, going into 3. There's really not much difference, I mean, he didn't dump them. He didn't spin them out. Is it aggressive move? Yeah, I've made a lot of them. And I get, people like it or not. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything different than we grew up in the 80s and 90s watching Dale Earnhardt Sr. bump and, Terry Labonte to win a lot, Bristol or I mean, right. we can name them all. I mean, that's what we all grew up on. It's just hard racing. And, when it's 15 to go at the Derby, our Daytona 500, you're going to do whatever you got to do to win the race. And I expect any of my drivers to do the same thing. I feel like a lot of people, obviously the competition cautions didn't come out, but everyone knew how the format was. I think that if I wouldn't have brought Chandler in after lap 33 caution to put him in the back because he had some debris on the grill that wouldn't come off, his car was run hot, it might have been a different story. You might have seen that I felt like Chandler had a just as fast or faster car than Derek all day. I mean, there was no one that came from the back of the field and passed everyone under green like that. And he was in the right opportunity, and where he needed to be. And he got the job done. And it's kind of how I feel about it.
We're with Donnie Wilson here on Finish Line. He's our final guest as Chandler Smith, the winner of the 54th Snowball Derby, scheduled for next Wednesday on our finale because of obligations, obviously, with NASCAR and Toyota Racing Development. Donnie, you've got Chandler Smith, the Snowball Derby winner, but you've also got Cole Butcher, you've got Sammy Smith. All these young hot shoes are great damn wheelmen. How do you try to work with each one and not make the other guy feel, well, Donnie's helping this guy more than me or the crew in general?
Well, I mean, we lay it out at the shop. All the cars are the same; they're identical. We leave the shop identical. It's it's crew chiefs and drivers' job, obviously, to make the adjustments they want to make and go from there. But as you can tell, or what we've proven to a point, is that they've all been equal. Obviously, with Sammy winning his races and Chandler's just had a stroke of bad luck, at those Winchester and All-American and obviously Governor's Cup. I mean, and fortunately, we had Sammy that won those, 2 or 3 races, whatever it was, and they've all been fast. And I think that just goes to credit our team and how hard we try and work at the shop and be prepared. I do the best as a car owner I can, no different than I would when I drive, or I'm still going to drive whenever I decide to. But right now, I like with how everything's going, and I feel fortunate for our team to win the races they've won this year, and look forward to 2022.
Donnie, I know that Racing America tried to get some of the emotion, but they kind of about 2 or 3 laps to go, they were showing you on the war wagon or showing you in the pits with the elation of watching the finish, but then they panned away to show the finish of obviously Chandler Smith crossing the finish line. What was the radio communication like between you and Chandler? What was the morale around the team? That final restart coming up to the finish, and I would even say Cole Butcher had a shot to win the damn race. I mean, he was right there within the cat's whisker of everybody.
Yeah, Cole Cole come out, and he had a shot. Sammy had a shot. Basically, I told Chandler, we have 100% confidence in him to do what he knew what to do, and that's kind of left it at that. And he got the job done, and it's for me. I mean, there's no better feeling to win the Derby. That's what we all try to do every year. That's our goal. Obviously we know I've ran second, fourth, and seventh, and had a lot of heartache there, especially at Pensacola. And Chandler got the one Blizzard race win, and he's been fast there every time. Sammy's been fast there when he's gone there. We had the one problem in Tech when Sammy won the first one, and that's pretty much it. We try to, everyone's going to complain and gripe about the Tech deal, but I think that was the best thing that could possibly happen. We all know when we go to any race, especially the Derby, like I always say, it's aces, straights, and flushes. You better be legal, and I have no problem with them tearing any of our cars down to bare metal, so.
And by the way, Charles, you can bring us side by side in the box again. I'm finished with my social posts. Donnie Wilson again, Donnie, joining us here on Finish Line. And you open that door, Donnie, so I'm going to help you kick it down, brother, because I was going to ask you some questions about Tech. Is it just, do you feel like it's gone too much? Some people are saying, well, man, they're checking wiring now. They're checking serial numbers off door panels. Why are they doing that, by the way, Donnie, to answer that question? Because some people were just kind of puzzled in why it was happening.
Well, first off is they pulled the fenders and the doors off to get the wire loom and the ignition box out of the cars easiest. That's to get in there and get them out. I mean, that's the easiest way. I don't think there wasn't no weigh-in panels or this or that. They all have the 5-star logos on the inside. They're all, I don't even know if they even make carbon fiber or whatever people's talking about for fenders and stuff. But that was the reason they did that. As far as the motor situation, tearing it down, that's fine with me. I ain't got no problem with that. We've always been pointed at all year, everyone points fingers. Everyone thinks you run traction control. Everyone thinks you got illegal motors. And I'm glad we did it. And that's the way, I think they should do a little more, especially all the big races. I think they should do this kind of stuff more often. So I don't have any problem with it. I just think it needs to be done a little more. And that way it kind of puts everyone saying this and that, puts it to bed.
Donnie, I do got a rebuttal or response to that. Somebody made the comment of, if they go through all of this pre-race tech all day long, okay, so let's go back to 7 days ago. This is Wednesday. We had obviously Trevor Atwell on finish line, or Michael Atwell on finish line the other week ago, talking about his win at Southern, and they were bringing in the haulers, and you guys are coming in with the Donnie Wilson Motorsports trio. You're unloading your cars. Wednesday is tech day. And there were literally people saying, well, if it takes all damn day for Ricky Brooks and his crew to tech these cars, then why is it taking all night long after the conclusion of the race if they already teched all these cars and they were already proven, that they're legal? But there's so many things that can be done or altered before then. Am I right, Donnie?
Yeah, pre-tech, they can only do so much. Obviously, we check safety, we check weight. You go through the regular ABC referee and all that. But, at the end of the day, you can't really get into everyone's car specifically and look at everything, And the only way you do that is obviously in post-tech. And then obviously on the engine situation where you can only, we've got sealed motors, we've got parts motors, we've got 9-to-1s. So there's different combinations. A sealed motor they trust because it's come from a sealed engine builder, so they don't worry about that. But on the parts motor side, they're not sealed. So there's a lot more tech going to be involved with those motors, and needs to be, obviously. Can it be done a different way? I agree it can. I've gave some, I've told Ricky, I've told some other people my opinion how they can go about it, and I don't think any car owner, any driver would have a problem with that to do this in advance. So, but I mean, like I said, when it comes to Derby, you should expect your car to be torn to pieces, in tech.
Is Ricky Brooks good for super late model racing, Donnie?
I think he is.
Gotcha. My producer, I think he's got a question for you about tech. Charles, if you got a question for Donnie Wilson, go ahead.
So I was going to get into this a little bit earlier, and we have plenty of time at this point. The one thing I agree with everything he said. They need to tech the crap out of cars. But the one thing I've seen this in real life, again, in the karting world, where it was a sealed motor. It was it was either Briggs or Stratton or the little Honda clone motors that we ran, and the person that was sealing them was also the tech. And hopefully nobody's shady enough these days, but there are those people out there where you pay them a few extra bucks, they'll do some tweaks to it and seal it up. So should we be teching those sealed motors just as much to make sure? And I don't know, in the bigger world, maybe it's all standardized more, but I have seen that in the go-kart world, so, I always have to question it a little bit.
We've gone from karting to late model tech now. Go ahead, Donnie, your answer onto that.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, just because it's a sealed motor doesn't mean it's legal. I mean, the problem I see with that situation on the parts motor, the rules are laid out, obviously, in our rules. Where a sealed motor, I don't know I've had them. I've got one. I don't know the actual rule on that motor, what's inside. That's for the engine builders, and they seal it, So the tech guy has to know all that information. But I still say, yeah, obviously, if a sealed motor one, I think it needs to be stripped apart like that too.
Donnie, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the story of your main crew chief. Obviously, you put together a team of people. Another buddy of mine, Josh Van Winkle, who also runs late model cars. He's a good friend of mine. I saw him the other week ago at the Thanksgiving Classic with the Carolina Pro Late Model Series event that Caden Quapple won. Like you said, you literally even though you're not a NASCAR team, you run Donnie Wilson Motorsports like a NASCAR team. You have a chain of command. You have your groups of people of who you want, whether it's spotters, crew chiefs, car chambers, and that was a great story about the crew chief out of Maine, starting local racing up at Oxford Plains and going down to the Snowball Derby and winning as crew chief with Chandler Smith. Can you tell us a little bit more about his story?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't know much about him. We've used different crew chiefs for Chandler this year, but everything's orchestrated. I mean, I'm obviously in Oklahoma City. The race shop's in Mooresville, and I put a lot of faith in all my guys. But the main guy that I put all my trust and faith in, obviously, is Bon Seuss, and he's the one that orchestrates all this, with personnel. So I trust him 1,000%, and he's the one that brought Jerry on board when obviously we went to New Smyrna for the Governor's Cup with Chandler. It worked out well. Obviously, we had a problem there during the race, but he worked out really great. Really nice guy, and it's pretty awesome for him to be able to crew chief the winning car. But I can name, many people in our group that's responsible for all of this. Like I said, it just doesn't take one person; it takes all of them. And that's not even including me. Yeah, I'm the car owner and stuff, but I put all my faith in all those guys, let them do their thing, and it's been pretty successful so far.
Donnie, probably the biggest win in your career, if I'm thinking, was the All-American 400. I mean, we've known each other since 2007, 2008 in the old ASA Southeast Asphalt Tour days. But the All-American 400 was the biggest win of your career when you got the guitar. But being a car owner for the Snowball Derby, is that bigger than that, Bud?
No, absolutely. To me, it doesn't matter if I'm driving or not. It's still all my stuff, and I take it to heart. I love short track racing. I love what we're doing. I put a lot of effort and heart and soul. You can ask my wife, she keeps on complaining she doesn't have a dishwasher. but
Christmas is around the corner.
I can because I love the sport. I love what we're doing, and I feel like we need to make it better. We need to have full car counts everywhere. Doesn't matter what series, whether it's SRL, Southern Super Series, Cars, CRA, ARCA Midwest. We need to make this sport grow and be better than what it is now. We need to keep making that level higher because obviously we all know that it costs a lot of money to run these cars, and we don't need to get out too much further out of hand. But I think it's the best racing out there, in my opinion. So that's just the way I feel.
Hey, Donnie, I was going to ask you this question. You actually kind of read my mind a little bit. Where do you see racing going? Obviously when you ran ASA and I first met you, that was like 2007, 2008. It's 2021. Let's be honest. We're going to 2022. In the last 2 decades, where do you see the sport heading? Where do you see it going? As somebody that travels all over, that has multiple teams like Sammy Smith and Cole Butcher and Donnie Wilson, with obviously Chandler Smith and other drivers that you give opportunities to. How much has racing changed since you probably ran?
I've been racing on the pavement side. I started basically 99 or 2000 and dabbed, and obviously it was not this expensive, but everything else is more expensive too. So kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know where it's headed. I just know we need to try to figure out how to make it better. That's all I know. I would like to just see everywhere we go have at least 30 cars, and whatever we have to do to make that happen. I think that's how the dirt late models don't have no problem getting, 30, 40 cars, I think. And we can all sit there and gripe and complain it's all about the purse and this and that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. I do think that, our races need to pay more, just because obviously it costs more to do anything anymore. And I'm talking about your 100-lap shows. Winchester 400, Snowball, they pay a good amount. All American pay really good amount, of money. The race in Irwindale out there pays good money. They've had good shows up in Arctic Midwest. Paid $15,000 to $20,000 to win. I mean, that's kind of. I'm kind of getting at. I think, anything over 100 laps needs to be up in those caliber of purses. But I don't know how we get there. We've got to figure out how to get sponsorship to back at the local level. I think that, with what they're doing with Nashville, North Wilkesboro, with those racetracks, I think that's only going to entice our cars to be able to race there at those venues in the future with what they're doing. I think that should bring in some money, to be honest with you, sponsorship maybe. And obviously, us as car owners or whatever, trying to get more people involved to bring sponsorship to the races.
Few more minutes with Donnie Wilson, and we'll wrap things up again. Obligations with Toyota Racing Development this afternoon. I had Chandler Smith lined up. He was looking forward to being on. Literally 10 minutes to going live. He said he had things he had to take care of with TRD and NASCAR for ARCA and Super Late Model plans for 2022, which I totally get that. Donnie, would you step out of the car to allow these other great, and I don't want to say the word great, that's not the word I'm looking for. What the word I'm thinking of, these upcomers and their talent. I mean, you got guys that are in your cars that are not just driving cars for their names and tearing shit up. They're talent. They get behind the wheel. They drive. They race hard. I think of Chandler Smith, and I think of a couple of years ago at the All-American 400 where Casey Roderick got all up in his way, and he kept him from running down Mason Mingus to win that race. And, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If Roderick would have got the hell out of the way, Smith had been the All-American 400 winner and ran down Mason Mingus. These guys that are in your cars, they're talented. They're good. And obviously, would that make you say, okay, I don't want to race these cars no more. I just want to be a car owner. I just want to have Donnie Wilson Motorsports and see it prosper, see it prevail. Because if I get behind the wheel of the car, whether you're saying you're up in age or not, you just, you feel like maybe these younger drivers can get more done, more trophies, more
No, I
wins,
mean,
more purse money.
I still want to drive, and I'm still going to drive. I feel like I can still get it done. I'm not done yet. I'm not over the hill yet, I don't think, but I might. If I feel like that, then I'll, step out and do the car owner role permanently. But, talking about Nashville that year, it's kind of interesting you bring that up because Casey was in my car. It caused all that, So,
yeah.
And I know what transpired there, and I felt sorry for both of them. I was kind of in the middle, but,
Yeah,
hey,
literally,
listen,
people tried to bash you all over social media. I'm like, what the hell did Donnie Wilson do? Like, seriously.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but I will tell you this. If I'm going to have race car drivers in my car, they better be fiery, and they better get upset, and they better be about that. You still got me?
Yeah, go ahead. Repeat what you were saying.
Sorry, I had a call, and it just went blank. But anyways, I feel like they better be fiery. They better be, upset when they don't win, or they shouldn't be driving my cars. That's kind of how I feel.
Definitely. Well, listen, Donnie, we're going to let you go, buddy. I know you was only scheduled for like a 15-minute segment, but I said, man, let's just keep the crew chief car owner on to fill in some time. This was supposed to be his spot as well. So, man, before we let you go, if you want to thank your sponsors, you want to thank your crew. Did we lose him?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, the sponsors that on all the cars, Fuel Me and all the stuff on Chandler's car he had. and then obviously on Sammy's TMC, and then Atlantic Tilt Load on Coles. But, at the end of the day, we have these, it's all about people, like I said, and I'm just fortunate to have the people we have and look for better, things next year. Try more, try harder.
For sure, man. Donnie, thank you so much for here. I know you got a busy schedule in Oklahoma. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And congratulations on getting the Tom Dawson Trophy as the car owner of the Snowball Derby.
Hey, I appreciate it. And one thing you got to look at, I'm very fortunate. I've got the Derby, got the Governor's Cup, got personally the All-American 400, and I've got
Winchester.
Yep, got Winchester. So that's not. I still it still hadn't sunk in for all those wins because I'm just an idiot from Oklahoma, just likes racing. So I'm pretty proud of what we built, and look forward to try to get some more races won that we don't have, and keep digging at it.
For sure, man. You definitely earned it. Well, listen, Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. And we appreciate you being on Finish Line. And we'll get the Snowball Derby champion, Chandler Smith, on next Wednesday for the finale.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you. Y'all have a great one.
Not a problem, buddy. Yes, sir. Donnie Wilson, everybody. And, of course, joining us here on Finish Line. Charles, I want to bring you in here because, you're talking about kart tech, but obviously kart tech, stock cars, tomatoes, potatoes, I guess they go hand in hand. But I will say though, is tech too much? Have we gone overboard with tech? Because like I said, there's been times I've been here till the cows come home and the sun's coming up, for tech and cars being done, engines being tore down to the drive shaft. You heard Donnie Wilson say, well, maybe there needs to be some tech limited on some events, but it doesn't need to be a full-blown tech. But, your take on it, because, tech and go-karts is different than stock cars, obviously, but, it's kind of hand in hand.
Well, my question for you, Wesley, is do you think people are going to cheat in 2022?
Do I think people are going to cheat in 2022? To me, that's a dumb question.
Okay.
Because people were cheating back in the 1900s when they first built a race car.
Well,
and they felt like, okay, this guy's beating me. I got to find a way to beat him. It's the old rule that Richard Petty always said. It's not cheating until you get caught. There's always that gray area there. So as long as you stay within that gray area, then you're all right. But I don't know, Charles. I really don't know how to answer that question.
Well,
obviously, I think there's going to be cheating for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
I know people that would cheat at checkers just to say they won. So, yes, people are going to cheat. And if people are going to cheat, then you need to tech. Simple as that. And, if you're running for $10, maybe you don't tech as much, whatever. But, sure. The bigger the purse, the more you tech. If it's $100,000 to win, I'll mail your motor back to you in a box a week later. I don't care. I'm going to make sure you're not cheating.
Definitely. Well, we'll get, and you heard Derek Thorne's side of things, and we heard from Donnie Wilson, the car owner from the Derby. And there's two different ways of looking at this. Obviously, Charles, you've been around racing and broadcasting a long time. When is racing rough driving? When do you draw the line and say, okay, this was not right what you did? And obviously we can't show, due to copyright, the Race in America replay or the shootout of the final laps of the race, but I'm sure you saw the highlights. I watched it, the bump and run, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my, he moved him. But you know what the old cliche is I'll wreck my mama to win the race. So it's like, when did we become so pacified of this is rough driving? This is not racing. This is wrong. You shouldn't do this. You can't do that. Your take on it?
I've always been under the mindset, rubbing is racing, not rubbing is losing. You're going to lose. And as to when we became a little passive, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one on LSRTV. But when we became more passive, like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, we can't do that.
Sure.
I think it was about the time these kids started eating Tide Pods, in that generation. They just became, oh, that doesn't look right. You can't do that kind of. It's Rubbin's racing. You're going to get bumped. You're going to get moved. Deal with it. If you don't like it, then when you spin out or they bump you out of the line, put that thing, go watch Days of Thunder. Put it back in gear and go catch them and do it back to them. If they didn't want it done to them, they wouldn't do it to you. It's that simple.
Yeah, I have to say I kind of agree with you on this, honestly, Charles. I'm. When did racing become a pansy sport? And I mean that word, and I mean that in no disrespect. I'm not trying to say that racing has become. Well, you know what? I will. I'll say this honestly. If people that we've seen, and I'm not saying this about Derek Thorne. But in my opinion, if you go back and you see, and Donnie Wilson's got a valid point, the Majeski Thorne battle there with Chase Elliott there at the Derby last year, there was some bumping going on, there was some moving going on, maybe not as aggressive as what Chandler Smith did, but to each their own. Every race car driver's different, but to say that it was literally rough driving and what was Chandler Smith thinking? Why did he move him out of the way? Why did he wreck him? Why did he put him up in the marbles? Look, and this is the nicest way of saying this, whether it is the World 100, whether it is the Knoxville Nationals, whether it's the damn Chili Bowl, whether it's the Gateway Dirt Nationals, and obviously for pavement racing, the Snowball Derby, you're going to do any and everything you can to be the first guy to cross that finish line first. Am I right, Charles? Bottom line.
Definitely right.
You're going to do what you got to do to win the race.
And I implore.
Bottom line. That's the.
Yeah, bottom line. I implore.
You're what?
I implore anybody that wants to see real racing at the lowest level you can. Again, it's karting. Go to your local YouTube channel. Everyone's got a phone or a computer these days.
Yeah.
Look up Red Bluff Outlaws. Look them up. That is where Kyle Larson raced when he was running go-karts. Those guys beat and bang and spin each other out and wreck, come back and win races. That is, to me, the heart of racing. Those guys, they don't give nothing. They just go out there and beat and bang. And, they don't come and gripe about it. They come back the next week and do it again. It's the way racing used to be, and now it's, you bumped me, my fender cost me $10, I'm mad, and you cost me the race. It's just getting like a pansy sport. Like you said, I think they need to get back to their roots. And can you imagine if everybody had to run like Red Bluff Outlaws and beat, bang, and get tough? We'd have an entire field in NASCAR full of Kyle Larsons.
We have fun, for sure, definitely. Hey, we're probably going to get off at the top of the hour for the first time ever. We're not going to go over 2 hours.
Hey, I can get on time for lunch today.
Yeah, man, we'll go have lunch for sure. All right, cue up our music for all of our radio affiliates across on the Fox Sports Radio. We thank you. We got one more show left to go, and that is next Wednesday. Chandler Smith will be a guest. I've got some other plans lined up. Somebody asked me the question. Charles, you asked me last night, who the hell are you going to have on? Racing's over. Racing's never over, fella. Racing's never over. And we've got some great guests lined up. So Chandler Smith, I know, is going to be on. The winner of the 10,000 to win Solid Rock Carriers Christmas Clash Race of Champions at Carteret County Speedway. For the late models, we'll have him on. Whoever that is, and of course, I'll think of some other stuff. There's some champions on some series levels that I'd like to get on. Obviously, I'd like to schedule, excuse me, I'd like to schedule Jonathan Davenport, of course, Brandon Shepard, Brandon Overton, just some of the names from dirt, from pavement, the same way as well. We got plans, but we got one more show left to go, and that is next Wednesday. And then Charles can take a break, and he can sleep in, and I can sleep in, and we'll come back for 2022. Thank you to all of our guests today on Finish Line. It was a good show. Tyler Carpenter, obviously Jonathan Beeson, Tyler Peterson. Thanks also to Derek Thorne, Donnie Wilson. We'll reschedule Chandler Smith again for next week. And unfortunately, Rusty Daniels had some work commitment come up and he couldn't be on the program. We'll try to get him on another time as well. For everybody at Rocket Media, LSRTV Productions, Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, and the Community Radio Network, for my producer, Jeff Stabnow and Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. Be good to one another. Thank you to all of our sponsors as always. One more show. We'll do it again next Wednesday. God bless.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
If you have not ordered at DirtCarLift.com in the motorsports racing world, you are absolutely way behind. But if you are an existing customer of the Dirt Car Lift product, you already know about why they use the concept of stop jacking and start lifting. DirtCarLift.com helps make things very easier in the pit area. Whether you need to change a flat tire, make a shock or spring adjustment, DirtCarLift.com can get all four sides up immediately than having to go around from side to side to car to car. By the way, they have a special package and price for existing customers with a few changes to make your life a little easier. Give them a call at DirtCarLift.com today. Call them up again at 770-898-3907. 770-898-3907. And find out why the concept is true to stop jacking and start lifting with DirtCarLift.com at the races today.
This is Finish Line.